Welcome to Getting to the Sale with Social Media. My name is Africa Allah, General Manager of DIRadiocast.com. And today we're talking about website integration and management. This is like my favorite part of the presentation because a lot of the times we don't realize how important website integration and management is. And we're talking about websites. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, we're going to tell you a little bit about what getting to the sale with social media is all about. Now, to get you ready for the holidays, optimize your visibility and increase your reach with our 7-session series, Social Media for Small Business. If you are, for the first time, joining us, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to our PowerPoint presentation so that you guys can follow along. If you have any questions throughout the duration of the broadcast, please feel free to click on the Q&A button at the top of the screen, or you can submit questions via diradiocast.com. Also, if you would like to check out all of the previous presentations, you can visit viralmovements.com, click on courses to find out more about our Getting to the Sale with Social Media 7-session series. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click over to the presentation. Now, we're going to put this in present mode. As I stated before, we are doing Getting to the Sale with Social Media. Here, we started off with our first session, Getting to the Sale 101, which was a free session. Plan a new and social media strategy. 9 methods of communication. Get to know your audience, polls, questions, tweet chats, Facebook chats, and Hangouts. Social media ads and data. Now we're talking about website integration and management. And of course, we're going to end with e-commerce to help you optimize your online exposure and not only drive traffic to brick and mortar locations, but get the traffic also to your website from an e-commerce. Throughout this process, getting to the sale, we're going to learn how to get to the sale using new and social media. Drive traffic to your website and convert leads in just a few steps. In 7 workshop sessions, learn how to attract, engage, and sell to your target market. This series helps you focus on getting to the sale, helps you focus on getting entrepreneurs, small business owners, independent artists, and nonprofits ready for the holiday season. Our objective is to get brick and mortar businesses ready for both Black Friday and Small Business Saturday, as well as establish an online e-commerce platform to help leverage Cyber Monday sales. Additionally, we want to support holiday gifting for nonprofits by starting on Giving Tuesday. Simple. Our goal is to educate and equip attendees with the information needed to create and execute a plan of action or strategy via social platforms. This will effectively attract, engage, and result in sales, which is ultimately what we want to do. Now, web integration and management. The emergence of the internet-based social media has made it possible for one person to communicate with hundreds or even thousands of people about products and companies that provide them, right? So now that we know that, let's talk a little bit more about social media integration. Why is social media integration important? Social media, the promotion mix, and integrated marketing communication. Ah, prior to the internet, or prior to the availability, the readily availability of the internet and social networking sites. Let's start off with the MySpaces. These sites often These sites are where a bunch of people congregate based on particular interests, the ability to communicate with people across the globe, and you have people that break up into different niche markets that talk about particular things and ideas. So this is an excellent opportunity to reach your fan or consumer base where they are. It is imperative as a small business owner, entrepreneur, or even an artist to meet your clientele where they are. And this is how we do it, by communicating with them in their social media platforms. The other thing is, as a small business owner, a artist, or an entrepreneur, you also want to drive traffic to your site. How do you do that? By making information readily available to share to those social platforms, by integrating those social platforms into your website so that people feel comfortable in that space. Because a lot of the time, the reason why people participate in social interaction or engagement is because they like the interface of that particular platform. You find that in the islands, a lot of people, or when I say the islands, I'm specifically talking about the Bahamas. You find in the islands, a lot of people like using the Facebook platform. So wouldn't it make sense to make that platform available within your platform so that people can communicate directly with you from that platform without necessarily leaving that platform, or by leaving that platform and engaging on that platform from your site, sharing all of your content? The idea is to encompass something that is familiar and intertwine it into what you already have, using that subculture. Online communications consist of websites, blogs, emails, RSS, mobile phones, social networks, online games, instant messenger, and forums. All of these things can be integrated into your website to give your end an awesome experience. But we're talking specifically about social media platforms. Social media integration. Now, as time has progressed, we've learned that people are more responsive to videos and photos. So when creating your content, we want to try to shorten the amount of information. We want to shorten the amount of information that we give out, reduce the long form formats, and give people information in blurbs, whether it be short blurbs that describe a video, short blurbs that describe audio, photos that tell a story, or that tell a story. And from that process, we want to be able to share that directly to our social network, allowing people to engage with that content. Once that information is shared to our social platforms, we want them to be able to then reshare that content through their social platforms or through their different platforms that they engage in. How do you make that so? They can go, once you have shared that content to your social platforms, once they click on that link, that will go back to your website. When it goes back to your website, you make available other social platforms that they can share that content to. So while they may have received it on Facebook or Twitter, or even Google Plus, especially Google Plus, they may feel more comfortable. It may be an article about business that they would want to share on their LinkedIn profile. Giving the client the ability to share your content on various social platforms increases your visibility as well as your network. Let's talk about management. Now, people often ask me, how often do I have to post to social media? I suggest that we talked about listening and understanding your clients and building your catalog, but posting to social media or posting to your website or social media, and really and truly should be posting to your website, and your website then generates the content that you can push out. You can either do it manually to increase the visibility, because manual posts are often ranked higher. However, if you do it where that is automated, you would want to then go back and nurture that piece of content by either editing the context or having discussions based on it and sharing it amongst your friends, people that you know are specifically interested in that content. But the amount of times per day that you post to your website or your social platform is based on the amount of interest. I've taken a story and repurposed it multiple amounts of times. It can be a story that is a throwback. I can see a hashtag that is trending or a topic that is trending, and I know that I wrote a story about that or article about that at least 2 or 3 weeks ago. I go back to that story and click share with whichever social platform I'm interested in sharing it on, or where I've seen that information trending, and then share that content. But in the share, I make sure that I attach a blurb that is relevant to what is being said at this point. Now, mind you, this article was not written for this particular point, but it speaks to that point. So posting is based on what's happening now and how you can incorporate what's going on your website into human communication across these social platforms. You want to create a networking platform. What we did for one of our clients, or what we've done for the majority of our clients over the past 2.5 years now, is that we've been integrating social platforms into the website development. By doing that, what we do is now create a network or platform. So if you're interested, doesn't matter what platform you're coming from, if you're interested in the clients, you can go to the client's website and see all of the social communications, tweets, Instagram posts, Pinterest, etc., and reshare that content, and even engage on those platforms from that from that particular platform, which is the client's website. This gives you a now sense of community, because you know that these people are specifically interested in your content, and they're resharing the content based on the information that's being curated from social platforms into your website, and then redisseminated into the world. When they're redisseminated into the world, they carry the metadata from your website as well as the URL to link them back to the information where it was originally transferred from. This is the plus side of social integration into your website, because the metadata and the URL lives with the content. And that's one of the things that you really want to do. But also the other thing is to make sure that when you're posting this information, that you're writing the metadata, that you're putting the information there so that people know where to go when they're finished. And it may seem tedious at first, but it becomes habitual. It becomes a habit, something that you often practice. You can continue to do this, and you will see the growth of your product as time progresses. Use blogs and other social media tools to engage with your customers. Again, we talked about the blogs, and specifically, blogs need to have some type of new media element. Blog in itself is a new media element. It's a format of journalism. But even in journalism, when you read a newspaper, the articles that you pay the most attention to are the articles that have, one, a catchy headline, and two, an image. An image that says exactly, or image that depicts in your head what the story is all about. So even when posting a blog post, make sure that you pay attention to your featured image. And your featured image, again, should have all of the metadata as well as the description in the image, so that when that image leaves and is shared across social platforms, it still has that information and it's tracked back to your website. Using blogs also help you create and open up communication amongst your fan base. Blogs can be a response to an idea or ideas that were first found on social media. It can open up the conversation to ideas that you would like to poll or tweet, or chat about via social media. It can be the catalyst that starts off the conversation. You can also have blogs that are audio or video or even images. I see a lot of our most successful blog posts are often our video posts, because people get they don't have to read. They can experience the entire thing and then interpret it based on their understanding of what the product is. I often suggest that if you're going to post a video post, that you should at the minimum have at least a paragraph describing what the overall goal of this particular video is. And that should be said, that should be held true even when you're posting the information via YouTube and don't have a social platform, don't have a website to host it on. You should always, always, always put some type of description inside your description box, because that increases the visibility in search engines. In addition to that, when creating your video post, make sure that you tag the URL of the video inside the description, as well as any websites that you would want to associate with it, because once that video is shared and embedded in other websites, that information is carried with it. Audio. We host a podcast, diradiocast.com, diradiocast. Radiocast, when we initially started, we wanted to create a radio cast, a program that a radio format like podcast that allowed us to explore the freedom of podcasting, but hold true to the principles of radio, which is why DI Radio Cast is DI Radio Cast. We are a new media network because we incorporated all elements of new media, that's video, audio, photography, journalism, and even design, into our context. Social integration, again, there are other elements that you would want to do. You want to make sure that people have the ability to email, do forms, etc., into your website, and that information is then disseminated through your social platforms. Now, with the introduction of Google polls and Facebook polls, you can actually embed those polls into your website, and again, your content is now integrated with social platforms, giving you not only your loyal listener or fan base, but also exposing you to potentially over 4 billion people that are using those platforms. Social integration. If you look at the demonstration here, this is one of the clients that we are working with, or we've been working with, and we have a hashtag. Use the hashtag, and we talked about hashtags in the previous in the previous session where we talked about hashtags, polls, and all of these other things. The hashtag drives the conversation. A unique hashtag helps you drive a conversation or interested in. What we've done here is taken the hashtag and integrated it into the website. So now not only are we curating the content that we're posting on social platforms, but we're curating the responses from people that are engaging with us on social platforms. And by doing that, we now make them a part of the network. So they can come to this particular page and engage with each other on our site, causing them to stay on the site longer, get exposure to various social platforms, and converse with people that are like-minded. That's the benefit of integrating social media into your website. People stay longer. People stay on Facebook long. They stay on Twitter all day. They're constantly getting updates about Instagram. Why not have all of that embedded into your website so that people can stay on your site a little longer and get familiar with your brand and product? Send the message that you want. Control the ideas, control the concepts, control the message, but curate their ideas so that you can build a new media network. This is Africa Allah of DIRadiocast.com. This has been 7 sessions. This has been our 7-session series, Small Social Media for Small Businesses. Today's program was website integration and management. If you have any questions or would like to follow up, please contact us by visiting viralmovements.com. That's viralmovements.com. Once again, my name is Africa Allah, and you can find me everywhere on the internet at DI Radio Cast.